Hello YouTube, James McClain here coming to you from Los Angeles, California with another installment of how to make a Tic Tac Toe game for family game night forever. This time we're going to dig more deeply into how to keep track of what is moved on the board where and whether or not we have a winning condition for our Tic Tac Toe game. Last time I was trying to use a string to keep track of the game data, but now I've switched to numbers because I found it to be easier. Uh, One problem I was having is that if you have ands all the way along and you start checking for three symbols that are the same in a row, well, if you get n, then you qualify. And then the code was thinking that, hey, you've won, but you haven't because it needs to be XXX or it needs to be O. Another change that I made was to um, create a database of test cases that is test boards. And what that does is it saves me from a lot of tedious moving manually. Um, in order to test every possible board, I need to fill up a bunch of different possible boards. If I were to do that one move at a time, it would take me way more time than necessary. So instead of that, I have here a full database of basically all possible winning conditions for X and for O. I have an empty board here. You see, now I've modified it to have 1 in slot 1 and 9 in slot 9, etc. And then here, X wins in the top row. So we have XXX is the top row. Here we have O in the top row. Here we have O in the middle row, O in the bottom row. Then we have X wins on the left column or O wins on the left column. We have X wins on the diagonal from upper left to lower right, or O wins on the diagonal from upper left to lower right. So the reverse condition. I think you get the idea there. It would take me too long to fully go through all of those. Um, I have a slightly different place piece function, which I'm not really using right now. This one is super duper key to how this thing works. I created a function called three of a kind. It takes in three numbers or characters, really. If it's a winning condition, it will take in an X, an X, and an X. Or if it's another winning condition, we'll take in an O and an O and an O. Now, it will also report back true if it takes in something like a B, 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 or A, or any three characters that match each other, it will return true. And that might be a problem down the road, but I'm only calling it with O's and X's and numbers from the game board. All I do is grab a space on the board and I pass it in as an A, as a B, and as a C. So here's where I do that. You can see I call the three of a kind function. And what do I pass to it? I pass my game array position 0. That's the upper left corner of the game board. Then I pass into it the position 1, which is the second from the left on the top row, and position 2, which is the rightmost position on the top row. So as you can see, I have the comment here. I'm checking the top row. Now, if I was on an X move, I would be checking for X. If I was on an O move, I would be checking for O. This here, we have variables to detect whether we have an O winner or whether we have an X winner. We also want to know where did the win occur. I want to know that so that I can report back to the client where they should draw a little line to, because in tic-tac-toe it's very traditional to draw a line across the three just to like rub it in, if you will, that hey, look, here's the three in a row that won the game. And we're going to do that in our client. So we need to know where to draw the line. This where win variable tracks that. As a starting condition, it's set to NW, which means no win. There are other codes in here. For example, LC is short for the left column. So in that case, there was a win on the left column. Or diagonal right, which means diagonal from the down left to the upper right. So I think that's pretty clear. That function comes from basically the fact that I'm in this part of the code. So in this check, I just discovered that I had a middle row winner if I got back a true from we have win. So if that's the case and I'm here, then I can go ahead and report back the position of the win as MR. All right? And similarly all the way along, I can report back my winner and I can report back where they won. And if there was no winner, then this does nothing. This code does not get executed because it's inside of an if statement. All right? So there's a check here for every single possibility for one piece side, and then it gets called for each move. So if X is being checked, it'll check for all possible X wins. If O is being checked, it'll check for all possible O wins. I report my results back out to the console, and voila, we'll get our report. I'll show you how that works in the console of the browser. So I just saved the thing. I'm going to refresh my browser, and I'm going to press my brand new button, load full test. Bam. That did a lot of work. We didn't see it because it all happened behind the scenes, but let's reveal the work that it did with the inspect and go to console in the Brave browser. Hey, check this out, folks. So here is the string that was put in, and then this is the test string with no moves, an empty board. I hope that's large enough to see. Make it a little larger. There we go. This is an empty board. So for every test I tried, I got a false. The winner was N. Notice that that's not an O. That's not an X. It's no winner. And the location of the win was NW. No win. Good. That's what I was expecting. In this case, we put in XXX in the top row. So winner top row, yes. What was the winner? The X. Where was the win? Top row, TR. Notice that all the other times we checked, there was no winner. Winner in the middle row, false. Winner in the center column, false, etc., etc. So we proceed thusly, putting in different game strings and checking to see whether we had a winner and where the winner was. Here we have 3 O's in the center row or middle row. So when we get to the middle row, we have true. There was a winner. And we say the winner was an O, and the win happened in the middle row, as the data suggests. There's 3 O's in the middle there, so that's a win for O in the middle row. It rhymes. All right. So that's it, folks. Thanks for viewing. Put in any comments and questions or suggestions for future videos. Should I put less content, more details, less details? Let me know. All right. I am at your service. Bye-bye for now.